Hello everyone, and welcome back to your Captain Vietnam Blu-ray special features segment. Today we're going to be discussing low-budget filmmaking and essentially the philosophy that I had employed while deciding to film Captain Vietnam. Probably my primary influence would be Robert Rodriguez. You may know him as being the director of Spy Kids, Sin City, Machete. He's just such a big inspiration on me, essentially because of this one thing that he touts, which is the 10-minute film school.
Hello, this is Robert Rodriguez, and I'm presenting to you the 10-minute film school. It's something that I would show at guerrilla filmmaking seminars at film festivals.
And he does a bunch of different versions of these in a lot of his different movies. But what it comes down to is essentially just how to get creative with filmmaking and how to do things for as little money. Throughout Captain Vietnam, the way that I wanted to operate was to have a $0 budget. That's right, I wanted to make this all for free. I knew that it was just going to be a summer project, and I figured it wouldn't actually make me any money. I'd probably end up losing money in the long run, but the fact is, I'm young, and I don't have a lot of money to spend. So let's make something without spending anything. And what actually ended up happening was, well, exactly that. We were at a $0 budget for almost the entire way. And it's thanks to this piece of shit can here that I had to spend $3. We had to spend $3 and finally spend money. But for most of it, I did it all for free. And I didn't have a camera or any sound equipment or any lights or anything like you may see around me now. So what we ended up filming on was a phone. It's not this phone specifically. I don't have my friend here obviously because it's about 1 a.m. and also it's a quarantine. But the idea was that we did most of the filming and recording on his phone. What he had was an iPhone XR and it worked beautifully. For sound, we just used voice memos, which is actually a really good program for just recording pure sound. If you just need to hear stuff and you need to hear it loudly, even if it's quiet, you can use voice memos. It'll work perfectly. And we did all the sound through that. Essentially, it's if it was footsteps, if it was breathing, if it was lifting and doing like fake Foley sound, we did it all on that essentially. Also, painting for the shields and stuff, we had cans of paint lying around, and the only reason why we had to spend $3 in the end was because we were using a gray spray paint can that we had lying around in the garage, but it was nearly empty and it ran out on us in the middle of filming. So I had to go out and buy this very quickly. What a shame. What a shame. A $3 short film that ended up actually making me about $1,000 or so because I got a job based off of showing a client that film, and then they decided to bring me on for a couple months to do marketing for them. I could go on and on about where I borrowed stuff from who and what I got stuff, but what it boiled down to is that I was making sure to spend no money. It's not to spend as little money, it's to spend no money. As Robert Rodriguez likes to say, you should do as much as you can for free, and you have to choose to be creative with your solutions in order to get exactly what you want, because the moment you start like spending money, it's like a scab. Once you start picking at it and you take it off, it just starts bleeding out. You're just gonna start bleeding out money. That's essentially the philosophy, and that's the same philosophy that I employed while making Captain Vietnam. But one thing that Rodriguez doesn't mention, while it's great that you should do stuff for free and you should get creative with it and really just like think ahead, 14 steps ahead. Like he does mention that, but he doesn't really go in depth. The one thing that saved Captain Vietnam for me was essentially these. It's storyboards, essentially. And it was just planning out everything in advance, planning out exactly how I wanted to see it so that I could just show it to my friend because I'm using his phone. I wanted to see what I'm using his phone for filming. And then I had him at times film me because I just physically couldn't reach it myself. And so I needed him to know exactly what I was trying to get. And so what I did was that not only did I write down the script and every single line that each character would say, not only would I plan out each shot and what it would look like, but I would physically draw it. And this is called storyboarding, and usually you get this with a lot of bigger movies. For a stupid short film like Captain Vietnam, I probably shouldn't have, but I did. And it came very much in handy. It saved so much time. What would have taken about like 6 to 8 hours to film correctly, we did it in about 2, just because I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And no one else was like trying to fight me on it. You know, they knew exactly what I wanted. They thought it was cool. And so we just got out there and we did it right. So, you know, I think that's really awesome that I managed to get this through, and that I just did so much of the work for my friends. And I think that's just like a big lesson that a lot of people should take with them, as well as that you should really try to make things as easy as possible for other people to help you. And you know, I think that really gets you a long way, is that people, they like helping other people, but if it's just too complicated, like, they pull out right away. That's in my experience anyways. So anyways, that's been my low budget filmmaking seminar. Thank you for watching this segment here. If you're watching this on digital video, please feel free to click over here for the next special feature segment. In fact, the very last one, we'll be talking about the merchandising that you may have received along with a physical copy of Captain Vietnam. Or click here for the previous special feature segment where we were discussing the shield props and the story significance and how we made them and a bunch of other things. And if you're watching this on the physical copy of Captain Vietnam, a physical Blu-ray, feel free to just click over to the next segment where, again, we're going to be discussing the type of merchandise you probably received with your physical copy. So, overall, thanks again for watching. I cannot stress enough that this has been an amazing project to work on. And be safe. And be healthy.